Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Family Law Talk.
Family Law Talk.
Presented by Kirk Stange of Stange Law Firm, P.C. Stange Law Firm is a family law firm with offices in Missouri and Illinois. Now, here's your host, Kirk Stange.
Welcome to Family Law Talk. This is Kirk Stange, and today we have an interesting topic on Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm. The topic is case priorities in divorce and family law matters. This is based on an article on our blog, familylawheadquarters.com, dated June 19th, 2015. And the title of the article is Ranking Your Goals for Your Divorce Attorney. And so that's the topic we're going to talk about here today. And as a follow-up to the episode, you can go to familylawheadquarters.com and you can read the article itself. Definitely an interesting article and an important topic in a lot of respects, the divorce and family law sphere. So let me break it down here for the listeners today. Take a divorce case, for example. In a divorce, there's lots of different issues that can theoretically be at stake for the parties. For example, the divorce itself. A lot of parties kind of take it for granted in this day and age that if one party wants a divorce, that the divorce is automatically going to happen. And while oftentimes that is the case, there are some instances, in fact, where the divorce itself could be an issue where maybe one party chooses to contest a divorce. Maybe they believe that the marriage is savable. Take property and debt, for example. In a divorce case, by statute in Missouri and in Illinois, the court's got to divide all marital property and debt, in essence, in a just manner. Both states are what we refer to as equitable division states, so the court has to equitably divide the marital property and the marital debt. And for lots of individuals going through divorce, there can be lots of property and lots of debt at issue, all the way from the house to investment accounts, to retirement accounts, to bank accounts, to automobiles, to the personal possessions that the parties might have. I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of property and debt that could come into play in a divorce case, and the court has to divide it in some manner, in an equitable division fashion. And then take debt. In lots of divorce cases, debts can be a real issue, certainly student loan debt, credit card debt, other consumer debt, things like the mortgage, second mortgages like lines of credit that people might have. I mean, you name it, but in a divorce case, all of that has to be divided as well. In other words, there has to be determination about who's going to pay what marital debt or not. And then when you get into the custody of the kids, the court is ultimately going to have to make a determination on legal and physical custody. So is it joint legal and joint physical custody? Is it a situation where maybe sole physical or sole legal might be appropriate? And then down to the nitty-gritty days and times of a custody schedule. So a typical custody schedule is going to break down each day of the week and determine who gets the kids when. It will deal with holiday time, summer visitation time, for example. And so all of that has to be determined. And so specific days of the week, specific exchange times and exchange locations, the amount of time that the kids spend with each parent in the summer could come into play. And really, at the end of the day, any one of these issues can hang up a divorce case, for example. Get into child support. If there's children, the court in Missouri and Illinois will have to use the appropriate child support formula and come up with the child support amount that, at the end of the day, is just based on the statutory factors in either Missouri or Illinois. And so that can be a significant issue in terms of a divorce case. And then take other issues like college education. In other words, if the parent's going to pay a portion of the college education for their kids. Take other things like medical expenses, daycare expenses. Maybe the kids are involved in other extracurricular activities that are out there. All that being said, the court's going to have to make a determination in terms of how that's going to work. And then take spousal support, referred to as spousal maintenance. Is that an issue in the divorce case? I mean, the court's either got to make a determination that, there's no spousal maintenance that's going to be paid, or if spousal maintenance is going to be paid, what's the amount, and then what's the duration of time in which that spousal maintenance would be paid. And then attorney fees and court costs can come up in these cases as well. In some cases, the court might find it appropriate to have one party pay a portion of the other party's attorney fees and court costs. In some cases, the court could make a determination that both parties simply pay their own attorney fees and court costs in a particular case. But at the end of the day, what's really critical is mapping out all these potential issues with the attorney at the start of the case. And then what is critically important is to have a client rank the priorities. So in other words, from most important to least important can be a good thing for a client to rank these things for their attorney. From most important, again, to least important. And the reason for this is a couple-fold. One, in terms of settlement negotiations in a case. An attorney, generally speaking, can do a much better job from a negotiation standpoint if they know what are the most critical issues for their client versus the issues that maybe aren't nearly as important. Because oftentimes, in terms of settling a case, there's going to be give and take on both sides. I mean, both parties on some level or capacity will have to meet in the middle on particular issues in order to resolve a divorce or family law case. And if the attorney knows what's most important to the client versus what's least important, then it's going to allow them to devise a negotiation strategy to try to get the client their most important goals, or at least try to get a result that's as close as possible on the most important goals. And then maybe the attorney knows on the other matters the client is going to be more likely to meet in the middle, maybe to give on an issue to get a case done. And so it can really help an attorney from a negotiation standpoint if they know what's most important versus what's least important, and then take a case that doesn't settle. I mean, ultimately, most cases do settle at some point. Some of them might not settle right out of the gates. It might take some time, but ultimately, most cases do settle. But for cases that don't, this is a critical thing as well, because then the attorney knows in terms of discovery, what information to seek, because they're well aware of what's most important to the client versus what's least important. Take trial strategy, for example. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for an attorney to spend a bunch of time in an area that isn't that important to the client. On the other hand, if the attorney knows that another specific issue out there is critically important to the client and maybe their most important priority, then the attorney knows they're going to need to spend quite a bit of time on that at trial and in discovery, because that is an issue to the client that's near and dear to their heart, that's critically important to them, and it allows the attorney to really prioritize that trial time, how discovery is going to work. If a deposition is taken, for example, the attorney knows that they might spend a great deal more time inquiring about the matter that's critically important to the client versus the matter that maybe isn't as important at all. So, again, ranking priorities at the beginning of the case with the attorney, definitely something that's helpful, definitely something that individuals going through divorce or family law matter ought to think long and hard about doing. Maybe they have an attorney that's suggesting this as well. If not, it can certainly be a helpful thing for a lot of clients to put together this list informally and give it to their attorney. That way their attorney, again, knows what are the critical issues to them, what are the issues that are most near and dear to their heart, to their family's heart, what are the biggest priorities, what matters aren't nearly as important to them, and then maybe, the matters that kind of fall in the middle, that they're important to the client. It's something that the client is concerned about, but it isn't, as critically as important as maybe the top 1, 2, or 3 things in the case for the client. So that is really the topic, and it's an important one, again, because it allows the attorney and the client to get on the same page at the beginning of the litigation, which can help a client at the end of the day, in a lot of cases, feel as if the case is being run in a manner that's efficient for the client, run in a manner that meets the client's most critical priorities, and the client feels like adequate time and attention is being given to these matters that really at the end of the day are just critical to them in terms of their overall goals and what they'd like to see accomplished for the case itself. So that is a topic. Again, as a follow-up to the episode, you can go to familylawheadquarters.com and read the article titled Ranking Your Goals for Your Divorce Attorney. The date of the article is June 19, 2015. Definitely an interesting topic. definitely one which I think is important for most individuals going through divorce or family law matters. So thanks for tuning in to Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm here today. Stay tuned for our next episode coming up soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Family Law Talk.
Family Law Talk
with Kirk Stange. Visit StangeLawFirm.com for more about today's topic or to put Stange Law Firm to work for your family today. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements. Neither the Supreme Court of Missouri or Illinois reviews or approves certifying organizations or specialist designations. The information you obtain on this podcast is not, nor is it intended to be legal advice. You should contact an attorney for advice regarding your individual situation. We invite you to contact us and welcome your calls, letters, and electronic mail. Contacting us does not create an attorney-client relationship. Please do not send any confidential information to us until such time as an attorney-client relationship has been established. And finally, past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Kirk Stange is responsible for the content. Principal place of business, 1750 South Brentwood Boulevard, Suite 401, St. Louis, Missouri, 63144.
Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today. And experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT, plus 3.9% APR for 60 months with approved credit. $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Expires 1/02/2024.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.